Right, good afternoon. Welcome to another lunchtime fix, a live one. I put it out to Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Links all down below. Yesterday, I actually put it out to them to ask them what topic should we talk about in today's lunchtime fix. And golf clothes seemed to be one of the most repeatable ones that people wanted to talk about. It's always a relatively heated debate, which is fun. Um, let's see if we can debate about it today in some kind of grown-up fashion. Let's see everyone's inside. I hope so. Are you being sarcastic there, saying in the chat room? However, I believe etiquette standards are one of golf's greatest strengths. So people are already, afternoon Mark, Lee Whitaker Golf, hi Lee. People are already at it in the chat room. And look, let's just try and stay as much as we can respectful to each other's opinions, because this one definitely is a massive splitter. It really divides people. And I think one of the reasons why it divides people so much is golf's quite clever at institutionalizing people at times. And also, it's quite good at making kind of people, it's the dress ideas are so entrenched through life, certainly in the UK, which we'll talk about more maybe than other countries, than they are just a golf thing. So it kind of bleeds into other aspects of life, which I always think leads this conversation down an interesting point. So I've got some interesting kind of statements that people I've captured from social, which we'll bring up and discuss. And again, as always, I'll keep trying to look in the chat room to see what you're all saying and seeing if we can make anything of this. Remember, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, hit the subscribe button. Plenty more lives coming. And also, if you are subscribed already, hit the thumbs up button and hit that bell icon. Right, here is the first statement. Lee says, reference dress code. There should be a dress code in place for any sport and uniformity and a certain element of discipline. However, it should not be at the expense of participation. Lee. So interesting points there from Lee. I think lots of people would kind of agree that that's a very common idea that people have, that there should be some kind of dress rules, in most sports. When you're comparing it to other sports, tennis is one that people often compare it to. You do need certain apparatus and people believe to look a certain way to kind of take part in that sport. As in, could I run around and play tennis in a jacket and tie with a suit on? Yes, I could, but it probably wouldn't be ideal. So it's kind of stopping people from getting it way wrong to a certain extent. And it shouldn't be at the expense of participation, I think Lee is saying there. And that's something we might come on to more as we go on. I think where people get lost in the dress code discussion is there are so many grey areas. And obviously one person's opinion of what is smart or practical to wear might differ to another's, which then leads to these kind of, dare we say it, kind of endless, spiraling out of control arguments. I think some good points there from Lee. Let me know what you think in the comments. My mate was made to change his black ankle socks before he could play. He was just very smart, but the socks weren't good enough. Timmy P. Yeah, see that is it's stories like that and questions like that which I kind of agree where this gets very grey, this comment. Because where do we have to agree that something like black socks, what's wrong with black socks? Dress code is less important than just golf etiquette on the golf course, Ben. Yeah, often those two things are parceled together, aren't they? So, if you're not dressed right, then your etiquette's not going to be right. It's those kind of ideas often are parceled together. And yeah, I've got plenty of proof where that actually isn't the case. And I see plenty of poor etiquette from people dressed in so-called perfect golf attire. Craig on the comment saying slippery slope. A slippery slope to where, though, I guess, is the question. Somewhere lots of people are very scared to go, maybe. Right, Greg is next. Greg says, let's pull Greg up for you. Let me find Greg's. Greg says, I don't mind having to wear trousers and a collared polo shirt, but some of the rules like socks, belts and tucking in shirts are just stupid. To avoid playing at clubs where they strictly... I avoid playing at clubs where they strictly enforce stupid rules. Good points there, Greg. He's talking about the tucked-in shirts, the socks as well. He doesn't mind wearing his trousers and collared shirts. And again, I think that's the point, isn't it? He doesn't mind. If he doesn't mind, that's good for Greg. Where, like, the people who have the ideas around no dress rules at golf clubs, I don't think they're judging you if you wear dress attire. It's more being forced to is the funny idea that lots of people struggle with. So wear your collared shirts and your trousers all day long. I reckon if there's no dress rules, I'd probably do the same quite often, the way I've kind of been entrenched in golf. But there'd be situations maybe where I wouldn't. It's the fact that you're forced to, I think, is what makes people kind of feel a little bit like they're being bullied by the game. And then to not play or to avoid the clubs that strictly enforce these rules, I think is a very, very good point, because, you know, vote with your feet, basically. If you're not agreeing with these options, you don't agree with these rules, then don't give these clubs your money. You know, there's plenty of other people who will play them. I'm not saying you're going to try and bankrupt them or anything like that. It's more you're going to choose not to take part. Like I don't go to certain clubs where I don't like their dress rules if it's, say, a nightclub, or if there's a restaurant where you would have to dress a certain way. I would choose to avoid it if I didn't want to do that. Do you see what I mean? I think using your ability to choose, and there's the key point again, isn't it, is your choice to wear or not, rather than being bullied into it or not. Lee says golf dress codes are from a bygone era. They absolutely are. Jackets in clubhouse after Anthony Jones and a face plant, totally agree. That one, I think most people start to agree now. That one's just crazy. I like the dress code. It's pretty loose at our club. No sleeveless shirts for guys. That's it. No need for guys on course wearing wife beaters and blue jeans. Cheers, Bob Fisher. Now, Bob brings up an interesting question here. When I worked at a public course, so he's saying he's actually mentioning dress relative to gender. That is such a hot potato that, again, where the dress code rules just does itself no favours. Ladies can wear, at some clubs, or women golfers can wear sleeves but no collars, or they have to have a collar if no sleeve. I mean, it's just like, that to me personally is just mind-blowing, how you can have a dress code for gender around collars and sleeves. Is just, it's where I think the dress code discussion just gets so messy, because there are so many holes that basically boil down to individual kind of committee members' opinions. Right, let's go into the next comment. Michael Vine here. There it is for you. Let me find it here so I can read it out. Michael Vine. Enough golf clubs around the country to have both traditional and relaxed dress code policies. There doesn't need to be a blanket change across the board. People who want to play without a dress code can play at the relaxed golf clubs, and people who prefer a club with a dress code can play there. And that is a very good point, Michael. I think at the end of the day, these are private clubs that we're talking about, lots of them, and their rules are their rules. And like one of the earlier comments, you choose to play or not. I think, again, where that gets a real shame for me personally is if the better course, however you want to rate that, so actual course layout, design, bit of history, is enforcing strict dress rules that you don't agree to. It's a shame that you're going to knock that off the list because you don't want to dress up in the way they want you to dress up. But then again, it's their rules. I think, I really, this comment's good. I think there's arguments so strong for both sides. I personally would be much more into the let people choose, because I don't think it would be the end of the world like people say. But I also understand why some clubs want it to stay. It's not what I would choose. It's not what I really believe in. But I totally understand why. It's very similar to... This gets really close, I think, to the price of clubs questions. We did a Callaway review up on the channel last night. These clubs are very expensive. And I think it's interesting how people interpret price and what they want for that price. And I think the dress rules come in there at some point as well. Some people want to pay a lot of money, they want to dress up, they want to look like golfers, and they want it to be exclusive. That's fine. Some people want their clubs to be all-encompassing for everyone, everyone welcome, wear what you like, don't be judged by what you wear, and that's also cool. I think there is space for both, certainly in the business world, for these clubs trying to make money. Excellent point there from, where are we? From Michael. What's the chat saying? What's the share? What a shame for that lad. Yeah, I think they're more laid back here in Scandinavia. I don't know what he's relating that to, but Alan, he's IFK in the chats there. So I've played golf in Scandinavia, played golf in Sweden when I was younger. And I absolutely loved the environment to play golf in. Golf course called Söderassen. Anyone watching might know it. It was a really nice course, great condition, very family-friendly environment. Golf was booming at this time in Sweden, absolutely booming, and there was no dress code at all. I played the last day in jeans and a t-shirt because we were catching a plane, you know, so we had a morning where we had spare time. It was weird playing in jeans and t-shirt, being conditioned to wear golf clothes all my life. It felt strange, but it was fun, and it gave me an opportunity to squeeze 9 holes in. So when people say, you know, is it affecting people play the game? I don't think it's as black and white in that, but it might affect the amount of rounds that are played on both scales. What I wouldn't be doing, and what I'd stress you all to try and do a bit more, is let's maybe not judge people by what they're wearing. Why don't we judge them by the way they act? Would be a more sensible way for this sport to proceed. There are complications to that. I used to work at a golf course, a public golf course, but you had to wear dress attire. One of the key ones is you had to wear golf shoes. This used to upset people a lot. They would come from work, some in trainers that had plenty of grip, and they weren't allowed to play. They had to wear golf shoes, and that would get a lot of people quite angry. It was a tough one to manage in the shop. The reason behind the golf shoes is that it was quite slopey around some of the greens, and they just wanted to make sure everyone had the best grip possible. So having a blanket golf shoes idea made it easier for us and the staff to manage. Because, so this is in the era before trainer shoes were so, golf trainer shoes were so kind of common as they are now. You could really spot a golf shoe to not. We'd get people coming out from work in their work shoes, flat bottoms, no grip. Them going over, we don't want to get any kind of trouble or sued because they've fallen over and we've not told them what to wear on the golf course. So we made it a blanket ban for everyone. And yes, there were some crossovers. People wore trainers which did have grip, and it was so hard for me to say, look, you can't wear them, then you're not allowed. Even though I agreed with them. Yes, they've got plenty of grip, better than some of the golf shoes I see going out. So again, with the golf clothes arguments, there's, before you just, it's a little bit like the slow play one, the golf one. People just fly off the handle when they're being held off, or held up. They don't think why, or if it is the people that they're sharing out in front, or more in front, or just because it's busy. They don't look at the reasons. They're just upset and get aggressive, a bit like road rage almost. And it's similar with golf clothes. People are so quick to judge based on what people are wearing, where, I mean, half of my videos I'm filming in casual clothes. I'm a decent golfer who understands the rules, you know, but are you going to judge me on that? It seems a shame. Right, next one. Who is next? Last one before we get stuck into some lunch, from Adam. Adam, where is you, Adam? You are here, I think the first one, yeah. Biggest barrier for people trying a new sport is money and also being intimidated to try. Dress code fuel both of these things. Adam, where I agree with that, Adam. I disagree in places as well. You can get golf clothes for no money. You know, you can buy a polo shirt for $4.99 in some shops in the UK. You can buy tailored trousers for not much money from Gap and wherever you shop. So I don't agree purely it's the money that would hold you back from golf clothes. If it stops people feeling like included, or that they can play because they don't want to dress up, again, I kind of agree with that. And I think of my kids who'll do anything not to wear. So Fanula's more than happy not to wear her golf clothes. When we go to the club, she has to dress up because the courses we go, there is dress rules. But she'd much rather go in her clothes that she feels comfortable in. Doesn't stop her playing, but I mean, she does have more help, obviously, from me. Some people would argue, if you think it a little bit like school uniforms, it actually levels it a little bit and makes it a little bit easier because the rules are so clear on what you should wear. So as a new golfer, not knowing what to wear might be as intimidating as being told what you have to wear. Sometimes that's a security. When I know from teaching new golfers, that always came up when we went to go on the course, and they quite liked the fact that it was very clear what they had to wear. We made it really clear. You need a shirt with a collar, we need tailored trousers, you need golf shoes, and it might rain, so bring a jacket that you can play golf in the rain. It absolutely made them feel almost a bit more looked after and comfortable, where at the same time I definitely agree it would put some people off, but equally at the same time it can make people feel a little bit more secure almost in knowing that they're wearing the right clothes and are not being judged. I mean, it's an interesting one. Great comments. Thanks to everyone who's commented. Let's finish up here with what the chat room is saying. Buggy time shirts, bruh. Yeah, everyone should be forced to wear buggy time shirts. I agree. Alan, no jeans on course has practical implications. They don't dry as fast. In the clubhouse, jeans and a polo shirt, fine. In my book, I wouldn't go with that. If my clothes were getting wet, I would just change them so my jeans come off as easy as my tailored trousers. All the courses around here in Canada where I live have a dress code, but I don't think it's enforced. Chad, interesting. Yes, jeans are terrible on the course. It's things like this, like you might feel they're terrible on the course. I'm just interested why you think that's a public statement, E.L. Dorado. That might be your opinion, but to judge someone purely because they're wearing jeans on a golf course, to me, wow, it seems a shame, don't you think? Do you think the pros should be able to wear shorts? Max Lane. Yeah, I do, Max. I absolutely do. Tennis pros wear shorts. They play in ridiculously hot places sometimes. The fact they can't wear shorts actually breeds this kind of stuffy golf image. Now, how much the stuffy golf image sells, because it does. There are stuffy clubs that have no waiting lists, and people love the fact that it's stuffy and expensive. At the same time, it turns people away, which it does. It's very similar to this conversation. For me, personally, it's about tolerance. I think if you got rid of dress rules tomorrow on the golf course, not much would change for a long time. And if it did, the people who sell golf clothes and market them would market them in a way that still makes you look relatively fancy. And your pros would still wear certain brands because of their alliances and their paychecks, which would make golfers want to look a certain way. It's no different if I go and play tennis. In England, you'll find lots of people wear white. They wear white because they think tennis people wear white because of Wimbledon. If they actually followed the tour all year round, there's only one place, one major where they're forced to wear white. The rest wear whatever colour they want. So it definitely reflects into the public what these people are looking like, and I think that wouldn't change. It's the tolerance for me and the options I would like to see just a little bit friendlier personally. Get a few more people feeling like golf wants them to play rather than is aggressively telling them off all the time. Thanks for watching. Post comments down below. Let me know what you're having for lunch. Let me know if you've got a subject you want to rap about in the lunchtime fixes, lives. I like doing the lives. I love interacting with your comments and getting you involved with your comments on the show as well. Hit those comments up down below. Let me know what we want to chat about, and we'll have a good old grown-up chat about it. Let me know if you think dress rules are good or bad. I think there will be a box in one of the corners which will allow you to vote as well. It'll be interesting to know. For me, I think there's a place for it, and there's also a place not for it. I just would like people not to be so judgmental about what people are wearing. I think that goes nowhere apart from causes arguments. That's my opinion. Thanks for watching. Have a good lunch, and we'll see you all maybe tomorrow with another lunchtime fix. Thanks for watching.